Winters are always harsh in northern Afghanistan, but this year is different. Most people here, near Mazar-I-Sharif, grow what they need to eat themselves or work in the fields to earn money. But a severe drought last year led to widespread harvest failure.
The people who have come here to the distribution point to collect food are facing some incredibly difficult circumstances at the moment. Not only did they lose most of their crops last year when the rains failed and the harvests failed, but in the past couple of weeks the temperatures have really dropped, the snow's come in, the living conditions are just incredibly difficult.
As part of the World Food Programme's response to the drought, these people are receiving 3 months' supplies of wheat to feed their families. Community elders helped identify those who were most in need.
Last year things are okay, but this year, due to winter, the rain and snow in particular, life has been very difficult. The people need more help.
Many have walked for hours to the distribution point, some bringing children or pack animals to carry their food home. As they start the journey home, these people know that, for a while at least, they can count on 3 meals a day instead of 1.
Here in Bangladesh, almost 40% of the people live in poverty. With rising food prices and natural disasters, children and mothers are most at risk from malnutrition. Improving food security for them is one of the most difficult tasks of the Millennium Development Goals. 3 UN agencies, FAO, WFP, and UNICEF, are working together to help the most vulnerable. Before the project, in this cyclone-affected area, 43% of the children were underweight. Today, WFP is distributing high-energy biscuits. It's a fast cure for malnutrition and a strong incentive for children to come to school. The boy on the right is named Masoom. He is 9 years old and has been gaining healthy weight from the biscuits. And that's not all. He and his classmates learn about what to eat and why nutrition matters by playing fun games introduced by FAO. School gardening is another key component. By learning to grow vegetables, children gain practical skills, and most importantly, they get to sample tasty and nutritious meals from the garden. To ensure children are fed better at home, mothers too are given training. Masoom's mother, Maksuda, is participating in a cooking demonstration. The project also taught her to grow vegetables at home. It helps a lot, especially when she has no husband to support her.
Before this, I didn't know anything about nutrition. Now I know what nutrition means. I feel more confident about my children's health. From this project, I received many things: seeds, gardening equipment, and food for my baby. The project taught me how to prepare the land and manage a vegetable garden. I even saved the seeds for the next season.
When we started the program, we had a screening, and at that time she was pregnant. From that first, she is targeted as our beneficiary, and also we found that one of our children is moderately malnourished. 3 agencies work for the same beneficiary. FAO entered with the agriculture and nutrition education component intervention, and WFP and UNICEF provide her the white soy blend component.
Improving nutrition for the most vulnerable does not happen overnight, but this multidisciplinary approach and teamwork are definitely the way forward.
Los niños, la cantidad de millones de personas que se mueren por hambre en el planeta, y para mí era como una responsabilidad el poder participar y el poder ayudar.
The European Union and the United Nations Food and Agriculture Organization are helping people around the world grow their own food after man-made and natural disasters.
giorno all'altro magari per una calamità naturale perdere tutto deve essere bruttissimo, terrificante per questa gente.
Cuando hoy estoy aquí a ver que hace 2 meses esta gente no tenía nada y hoy hay comida, para mí es una satisfacción muy grande.
The European professional football leagues have joined the fight against hunger, mobilising all leagues, all clubs and all players in a common goal: to put an end to hunger.
In the mountainous terrain of Azad, Jammu and Kashmir in Pakistan, it isn't easy to start a small business. Banks are far away, and in bad weather, they are inaccessible on these roads. Moreover, the poor people here don't have the collateral for loans or the ability to pay high interest rates.
I was born in a very destitute and very poor family. In early childhood, I had to labor to continue my education and run the household. We've struggled a lot for a very long time.
In these mountainous areas, we women don't have many opportunities for work.
It isn't easy to get a loan from the bank, and they charge interest, so we don't bother applying.
In 2004, the UN's International Fund for Agricultural Development, or IFAD, initiated a community development project here to try and address this.
The main focus was to uplift the community and to reduce the poverty. And for this, the basic tool is for poverty reduction is availability of credit, microcredit.
The project encouraged people to form community organizations and pool their savings together. To kickstart the process, it matched the money they'd saved. Once the organization has enough money, members can then apply for credit. So it works like a small bank operated and run by the community itself. They collectively decide on who gets the loans and the terms of repayment. For example, Yasmin Akhtar needed to supplement her family income, but she had to be home to care for her 4 children. She joined the local community organization and applied for credit. She has now turned her kitchen garden into a profitable business.
I feel joy that instead of sitting idle, I've done something. I don't have to beg money from anybody. I satisfy my own needs myself. There are 4 or 5 women in the area following my lead. They have patches of land and they come to buy seed from me and also get advice on how to produce these vegetables.
And these microcredit loans can have an even greater impact on the community. 2 years ago, there was no health facility here. People had to travel up to 3 hours to the nearest clinic, and many didn't survive the journey. Mohammed Nadim had been trained as a paramedic, but did not have the resources to put his skills to good use. After receiving credit from his community organization, he set up this clinic, where he now sees up to 45 patients a day. Last year, he saved many people in his community from a cholera epidemic.
Of course I feel happy. If I didn't have medicine to give, then what would be my joy? But now I have medicine, and I'm also making money from it, and the patients are getting cured by me. There's no bigger joy than the fact that a patient is cured by my hand.
Mohammed Nadim already had the skills to make the best use of his loan. When Ibrahim Hussein Shah applied for credit, his community organization decided he needed some training first. Assisted by the project, Shah trained as a plumber. He was then given credit to open a shop. 5 years later, his business is very successful. He has paid for his siblings' education, and he's now training 4 apprentices. If it wasn't for accessing this credit, he says his life would have been very different.
I would have been on a roadside somewhere breaking stones. I would have a pick and a shovel in my hand. None of my brothers would have got an education.
It took only 1 year for Shah to pay back what he had borrowed. And according to the project team, 99% of community credit loans are repaid within the agreed time. Because it is the community's money and they decide on who gets the loans, they're all responsible for a successful outcome.
So in this way, I think when the community is empowered, when they are empowered to think about them by themselves, so they are better judge, and their decisions are always good. At this time, if the microcredit is available in Pakistan, especially to the poor people, they can, I think so, put our economy back on the right track.
And with the community groups controlling and managing their own access to credit, they are able to lift each other out of poverty.
Je m'appelle Goran Kwadjo Joël. Ça, c'est mon affaire.
আমার নাম অঞ্জনা বালা দাস, সে থাকি, আমি কৃষিকাজ করি।
Meu nome é Sebastião Rui Moraes. Esse é o meu negócio.
Enabling poor rural people to overcome poverty. That's our business.